Hello and welcome to today's episode of the Work at Home Rockstar podcast. Excited for today's guest. He is a thought leader, an influencer, an advisory board member, an internet personality, and a startup advisor who helps people take action. Very excited to be rocking out today with Vladimer Botsvadze. Hey,
Hi,
Vladimer.
Tim.
You ready to rock?
Thanks a lot. Hi, Tim. Thanks a lot for inviting me to your podcast, and I'm excited to share my insights with you today.
Awesome. Well, I'm excited too. So the first thing we do is we always start here on a good note. So tell me a story of success in your business that we can be inspired by.
Yes, I have 15 years of international experience with a proven track record of guiding top brands and executives worldwide to initiate change, drive growth, and position brands as market leaders in their industries. I'm regarded as one of the world's top experts on marketing and innovation, and I have enjoyed a remarkable success at the top of technology industry. I have played an instrumental role in a market domination of my personal brand, and I have established a world-class reputation for always bringing innovation to the table with every project. Based on my strong performance, currently I am ranked #1 global marketing thought leader. I have been featured in so many magazines, and I have been recognized in 2022 among top 10 inspiring business leaders by Inside Success magazine. I'm an advisory board member of RETHINK Retail, and I'm also a member of marketing judging committee of American Business Awards. I'm also a judge at Prolific North Marketing Awards in Manchester, UK, and Digital Revolution Awards in London. I have been featured in Forbes, Yahoo Finance, and Bloomberg, and interviewed by so many magazines throughout the world, also so many podcasts, and I have become a prominent public speaker in the international speaking circuit. And I'm currently represented as a speaker by All America Speakers, Promotivate, Kruger-Cohn, and I'm a global audience favorite from New York to Sydney. I aim people to live motivated to take action at the end of each performance. And I mentor startups at different startup accelerators throughout the world, at Seed Stars in Switzerland, at Faster Capital in Dubai, Apex CVC in Berlin. And my average satisfaction rating is 97%. I have been recommended by top executives from Google, PepsiCo, MasterCard, AC Milan, Forrester Research, and other leading global brands. I have 130,000 followers across my social media platforms, predominantly Twitter, 56,000, LinkedIn, almost 27,000, and Instagram, 10,000 followers. I'm equipped with a plethora of game-changing strategies tailored to give my clients a competitive advantage that guarantees long-term success and sustainability. I always aim to turn marketing talent of today into the global marketing leaders of tomorrow. And I won so many awards, and I'm addressing audiences internationally, encouraging actionable change, and doing my best to leave a lasting impact. As an extensively experienced marketing thought leader, I have led a number of top businesses to success, and with a CV full of roles from advisory board member to a global keynote speaker. I possess a game-changing experience and expertise that transform brands and builds businesses. I inspire audiences to put customers at the heart of organization, and I have been committed to inspiring business leaders with my impressive career success and utilize my natural entrepreneurialism to become a self-made influencer, a motivational figure. I have gone from 0 followers to 130,000 followers by consistently working 16 hours a day. I prepare organizations with a new perspective on the future of marketing. Natural born entrepreneur. That's why I have earned the trust of Fortune 500 brands, events, associations, think tanks, and advisory boards. My name is currently one of the biggest names in global marketing, and surpassing actually all major competitors. Continually focusing on self-education and reinventing myself, I have become a dominant global authority on digital transformation. I'm an audience favorite from New York to Sydney, and I'm focused on driving business results for my global clients, and I set the highest standards for marketing and digital transformation.
Wow, it's a mouthful. So really, I mean, you would attribute that success to just hard work. working 16 hours a day. And
self-made success,
yeah,
Tim, because in 2014 I have started building tweeting actively. I have built my presence across 15 social media channels. I tracked my progress from month to month. I connected with the world. Twitter is like a cocktail party. I stroke while the iron was hot. So I have capitalized and I have taken advantage of social media channels to connect with the world and to distribute my content. Nice. And the world discovered my passion, commitment, and dedication.
Nice. So now, okay, so on the journey, not everything goes as planned. There's mistakes along the way. So I'm wondering, yes. We call that the bad note. What didn't go as planned? Is there something that didn't work out so well? And what did you learn from it? And how can we avoid it if it happens to us?
Yeah, Tim, that taking the first step is always the hardest. Nobody should say that becoming a global thought leader is a walk in the park, because it takes so much dedication and the commitment. But when I started building my presence, it was not easy. I mean, I was there were lots of trials and tribulations, behind my journey, but Twitter, I connected with so many mentors on Twitter, and through networking, I have built my confidence. I connected with the world, and I have started tweeting actively. And then, in 2015, I have been recognized as a top 100 B2B influencer by Analytica in London, and this first award laid the strong foundations for my success, and since then, I have gained momentum and I have made a breakthrough. So I turned these stumbling blocks into real success, within 2 years, So I'm very grateful, that, of course, my first step was not easy, but I believed in myself. I hit the ground running. I went into overdrive, and my efforts performed miracles,
So what would have been one of those stumbling blocks? Like, what was something that was hard?
I mean, when I started tweeting actively in 2014, of course, getting the first 1,000 followers was not easy, because I was thinking, from step by step, I knew that I would grow my audience, but of course, in the first 3-4 months, of course, I was. It was not easy, to have I had like a 200 followers, 300 followers, but I mean, I did not have enough likes, for example, from the outset, and I was, but I did not give up, I believed in myself, and 5, 6, 7 months later, I already had 700 followers, 800 followers, 900 followers, so it had like a snowball effect, and I kept on growing my audiences, and creating content is a bedrock of success nowadays. If people, no matter what sector and what industry you represent, it is everyone's responsibility to create content. You need to show the world your passion, what you are made of, that you are your own master. You are a musician, of course. It costs nothing to upload your content and your music to SoundCloud, and let the world discover your stuff, your performance. So I think so many people greatly benefited from social media channels. So in 2013, I have pursued my degree. My PhD degree in supply chain management, but in 2014 I started tweeting actively, and social media journey has allowed me to open so many doors. As a result, I have moved up in the world. I have gone places, and now I'm a high man of the totem pole and a mover and shaker. So patience has been instrumental in my success. Patience, because I took one step at a time. Of course, Rome was not built in a day, and we need to keep our shirt on and to believe in ourselves and show patience. So because it's impossible to build a great success within 1 year, 2 years. Of course, I have been building my success since 2014. Of course, my social media journey. So I have become a very successful .comer. That I'm nowadays an advisory board member of RETHINK Retail. And of course, my expertise and experience truly inspire the retail world to maximize their success, you know.
So now, when you were struggling to get followers, at first, was it something that that you were posting that wasn't right? Like, what did you change in order to start getting more followers?
Yes, I mean, I was just posting my personal content, you know. So then I found out that audiences don't care about what is in my best interest. So I started tweeting and posting content that was in my followers' best interest. So I have become audience-centric team, you know. So
Yeah.
I like, for example, Amazon. Amazon is the biggest retailer in the world because of customer centricity, right? Because Amazon is close to consumers. For example, I have built my personal brand because I was close to my audience. You know, I communicated with my audience. I have built relationships in the long term. So whoever is close to audience always wins in the long term. You know.
Yeah, for sure. So now let's talk a little bit about practicing, about getting good at what you do. So,
Yes.
this is, I mean, it sounds like you have a great work ethic. So I'd like to know, like, do you have any routines, rituals, things that you do every day that bring you success?
You know, consistency has been instrumental, you know, in my success, you know, because without consistent, you can't build anything in the long term. So consistent action creates consistent results, you know. So I'm very grateful because, you know, I think what sets me apart is my practicality and long-term thinking, you know. I set my short-term, medium-term, and the long-term goals, you know. So I have taken the business world by storm, you know, in the since pandemic, because I have been interviewed by so many podcasts. I have been featured in magazines. I have become a mentor at startup accelerators. I have started speaking at global events. So I have greatly benefited, you know, Tim, from social media channels actually to be successful in many directions, like as a speaker, as a mentor, as an advisory board member, as a professor, as a guest speaker, you know. And I'm now a jury member, member of marketing judging committee of American Business Awards, and I am trusted to judge $1 billion marketing projects of Fortune 500 brands, you know. So in the UK and the United States, I'm a jury member, so I take pride in my work, you know.
Right on. So now, what about getting fans? So, I mean, let's dig into this a little bit more because,
Yeah.
getting, like you said earlier, I mean, getting a lot of followers is not easy. But also, not only that, getting a lot of fans is even harder. Like, how do you convert them from, just being on your following list to actually wanting to hire you?
My expertise, you know, Tim, you know, I think so many people don't tweet, don't post because they worry about what other people think about themselves, about their content. You know, so I don't care about what other people think about me or about my content. I share, I believe in myself. And believing in myself is a cornerstone of successful life, successful career, you know. So when people notice my passion, my commitment, my dedication, through Twitter, through LinkedIn, through the web. The web is our CV, right? Because if people Google us and they see great results, they make decisions at the drop of a hat to work with us and to join forces with us. So we work in digital economy. So we have website, we have Twitter, we have LinkedIn, we have so many interviews on the web. So I think I have been successful in many ways. That's why there are people who are in a brand building business and in sales business, team. You know, I'm in brand building business because Twitter built my career. Twitter built my personal brand. You know, whatever I tweet, whatever I post builds my personal brand, you know. So for example, why you choose Nike? Because Nike has a strong brand, right? Like a Nike CEO never knock on your door to ask you to buy his product, right? Never, right? Because Nike Just Do It campaign, Just Do It commercial has taken Nike success to the next level. It's same for me that tweeting, blogging, and sharing my passion have taken my success to the next level because I'm a brand building business team, because tweeting builds your brand, you know?
Yeah.
Hi, my name is Anik Malenfant from Mastering Ascension, and I've been working with Tim Melanson and the Creative Crew Agency for a number of years now. Tim is my go-to guy for all things technology, and his team have helped me to really create the platform that I need that represents my brand, my message, and connects me directly to my ideal clients. What I particularly love about Tim is before he starts to dive into the technology, he always makes sure that he understands what your global view is, what your ultimate goals are. So then that way you're not wasting a lot of time back and forth switching around technology or platforms. He creates something from the get-go that is scalable, which is highly beneficial for any business. What I've experienced from Tim and his team is they're highly responsive. They are a wealth of information, and they're going to offer you the tools that you need to really make the mark that you want to make in the world. So that's my recommendation for Tim. He's awesome. You're going to love every minute. You won't regret it.
Yeah, no, I totally get it. Yeah, because it's one or the other. I mean, if you've got a ton of leads coming in, well, then you don't necessarily have to worry about being a good salesman. Eventually, you're going to get sales. But if you only have a couple leads coming in because your brand is not out there, well, then you're going to have to be very good sales because you're going to have to close every single person you talk to, right?
Absolutely. And, I mean, there is no time like the present to strike while the iron is hot, and my career has been in the fast lane, and I have achieved #1 global ranking by Thinkers 360, which is the first open platform for global thought leaders, So I have disrupted the biggest names in marketing team because of my consistency. I always hit the ground running. I always improve my results, and they say that, you need Kaizen. Kaizen? Workers must adopt a policy of Kaizen, which is a practice of continually seeking improvement. Yeah. I continually seek improvement, so I adopted Kaizen, a policy of Kaizen, so I always improve my results. I hit the ground running. I go into overdrive, and I really rest on my laurels, team. So there are people who give up, who are satisfied with their performance. I'm never satisfied, team, because I demand a lot from myself every single day. That there are also great opportunities out there, so you have to go into the world and explore everything through your curiosity, hard work, and dedication. So
wow. Okay.
And when you are passionate about what you do, the cards are stacked in your favor. I push the envelope, and nowadays my talks strikes the right note because my expertise is at the cutting edge. So to put in a nutshell, passion, curiosity, consistency, and discipline are truly backbone of success.
Yeah, and so basically, you are who you are. You're very confident with who you are. So you put yourself out there. You don't worry too much about what other people are going to think because the right people are going to be aligned with you, and they're going to want to find out more.
Yes, I mean, Tom, I don't have time to judge other people, or I don't have time to criticize other people because I'm focused on my lane. I am focused on my journey. I compare myself who I was yesterday and a year ago because I always try to improve myself. So I don't have time, to judge society, to judge people, to judge colleagues. It's not in my DNA. I was not raised in the way to judge. I was raised in the way to support other people. If I surround myself with the people who are on the same journey as me, of course, teamwork makes a dream work, and in the long term, we achieve amazing things. So time is precious, right? I can't turn the clock back. So I live with no regrets. So it's always great to surround myself with like-minded people and to build great things in the long term.
Love it. Right on. So now you mentioned a bunch of different instruments, a bunch of different tools that you use in terms of social media. Now, do you sort of gravitate to certain social media platforms, or do you just build them all?
All. So there are people who tell you that or build only Twitter, or just be on Instagram, or just be on LinkedIn. No, I put my eggs into different baskets. There is a great saying that a mouse that has one hole is quickly taken. Yeah, so we need to have different holes, right? We can't if we put all our eggs into one basket, it may be taken, right? So I depend on different revenue streams, right, Tim? I depend because I'm speaking throughout the world. I mentor startups. I advise boards. I do different things to maximize my success, you know. So I use different social media channels to be in the spotlight, to be in the limelight, to make myself conspicuous, to show the world that I'm at the forefront of innovation, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. Do you use any other like automated tools in order to post on all those platforms?
I don't use, Tim. Of course, my respect to all these tools. For example, HotSuite, Buffer, like Meltwater, and Brandwatch are amazing tools. But I don't have time, you know, to explore all these tools because, you know, I'm tweeting, I'm speaking, I'm mentoring, I'm a one-man band, I'm a solo entrepreneur. Nobody helps me. I help myself. Wow. As they say that God helps those who help themselves. I help myself.
Yeah, and if you put in 16 hours a day,
yes.
then you have the time to do it. Which is not, you know, that's not the norm, right? You know, people don't put that much work into it.
But exception proves a rule. If I'm crazy about my career goals, so I work 16 hours a day just because I'm passionate about what I do, right? And Elon Musk said that if other people working 40-hour work weeks and you are working 80 100-hour work weeks, you know that in 4 years you will achieve what it takes for them a year to achieve, you know.
Absolutely.
So people complain about work ethic, but I don't complain about work ethic. I give my best to my career goals, so I live with no regrets. And I just turned 35, you know, and the entire world knows me through Twitter, through Facebook, through Instagram, through YouTube. And I shared my almost 50 videos on YouTube, and more than 25 speakers bureaus throughout the world started working with me as a speaker. So I joined webinars, I joined podcasts, I joined virtual events, I joined in-person events, I live events, you know. So I mean, I just recorded my videos through this mobile phone, through iPhone, and I have uploaded my 48 videos to YouTube, and the world watched me. They discovered me. They explored my passion. They believed in me, and now they work with me.
Awesome.
I mean,
awesome.
And mobile this is a device that holds the attention of our society. If brands don't know what's going on in this device, they are out of business.
I agree.
There are so many brands who live in their ivory towers and they don't want to download Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, all these social media channels to understand where the consumer's attention is nowadays. And hungry entrepreneurs build million and billion-dollar companies through Instagram, influencer marketing campaigns, and they drive those slow and big brands out of business because it's all about speed, team, speed, you know? And so it is like a Goliath versus David, you know? Goliath is slow and does not want to pick other people's brain, and David is fast. So David beats Goliath in the long term because speed.
I agree. So it's time for your guest solo. So tell me, how do we get to work with you? How do we hire you?
You know, people check out my website at www.vladimirbotsvadze.com, where they can have a bird's eye view over my services, testimonials, like my career journey. You know, they can also connect with me on LinkedIn to book me as a speaker, and also through agencies. I work with 25 speakers bureaus, so speaking agents get in touch with me that this specific brand is inquired my services, and then they invite me to conferences to speak at and share my insights. You know.
So then, who would be the ideal client for you? Like who is it that you're looking for?
I work with different sectors, nowadays, Tim, I mean, if brands want to literally stay ahead of the curve, they work with me, because they market in the year actually we live in, right? There are brands market like it is 1995, 2005, 2010. They disregard social media channels. They hire like graduates of top business schools who were taught strategies existed 30 years ago, and then they utilize those outdated strategies as big companies. They go out of business.
Yep.
So brands, I'm at the cutting edge of marketing because of my practicality, team, and practicality is what is missing throughout the world nowadays at business schools, at events, at conferences. Because they are talking about strategies existed 20 years ago because they put MBA degrees on a pedestal, and a degree gives you nothing in a global marketplace. Nobody cares about degrees, MBA degrees. Even Elon Musk does not care what top business school you attended.
No.
The web is your CV. The Twitter is your CV. What you tweet today is going to bring you success tomorrow.
Right, exactly. So you're looking for mainly like a medium to large companies that want to bring you in as a sort of an expert, subject matter expert, right?
Absolutely. And I'm an advisory board member of RETHINK Retail in Orlando, Florida, which is sponsored by Microsoft, and our advisory council is a syndicate of top 17 global retail thought leaders, So we exchange our opinions, RETHINK Retail has ranked me among top 100 global retail influencers in the world. So it is amazing syndicate,
Awesome. Okay. So, if someone wants to find more information about you, you go to your website, right? And
yes,
I'm
website,
sure.
Connect with me on LinkedIn, also Twitter at Vlado Botsvadze. And also also they can also follow me on Instagram at Vladimer Botsvadze. So I think my audience is greatly benefited from following me.
So out of curiosity, what's your favorite social media platform?
Twitter is my favorite channel, because nice. It is like a cocktail party. It is like easy to mix with people. No barriers. For example, on Facebook, if you want to connect with someone, you can't send a friend request because if you don't know them personally, So there are barriers. For example, even on Instagram, of course, people are very reluctant to follow you because they don't know you personally, So if someone stranger is coming to my profile and liking my pics, and it is kind of strange because I never met them, right? So on Twitter, it is much vice versa, I mean, people connect. It's like a cocktail party for business world. 85% of global technology leaders use Twitter,
Wow.
It is amazing platform to maximize your success, to connect with the world, to show what you are made of, So and even one reply to entrepreneur's tweet can make you a billionaire, because, for example, when Uber's co-founder Travis Kalanick was hiring the first product marketing manager in San Francisco Bay Area in 2011, he tweeted that he was looking for a product manager, and Ryan Graves replied to Twitter, and they met, they built Twitter together, and Ryan Graves became a billionaire through Twitter,
Wow, right on. Well, thank you so much.
Networking, curiosity. Curiosity is everything these days, Curiosity is a be all and end all.
Yeah, exactly. And you're right. I mean, Twitter doesn't have the barriers. I mean, LinkedIn, geez, you can't even request a connection unless you actually know, and then they'll block you.
Yes, on LinkedIn they send you sales pitches. I'm selling this. I'm tired of people connecting with me and sending me their sales pitches. They are looking for. I'm tired because we need to be in a brand building business team. That's why we need to be. We need to create content that is in our followers' best interest. If salespeople rarely manage to build their personal brand because they send you sales pitches all the time, they don't care about audiences. They don't care. They just want to sell you something.
Yeah, I agree. Thank you so much for rocking out with me today. This has been a lot of fun.
Thank you.
And to the listeners, make sure you subscribe, rate, and comment. We'll see you next time on the Work at Home Rockstar podcast.